get in the mood pretty much. So expressive.
Guys, break your legs.
Okay, let's start. Hey guys, welcome back to today's video. Thank you for liking the previous video. Thank you for sharing with us. Today I have a guest with us. We've been here in France for some months, but we cannot really answer every question you guys sent for the stereotypes. So here is Ilan. He's going to introduce himself and he's going to be answering our questions today.
So hello everyone, I'm Ilan and I'm studying with these guys as well in Colossians as well in Nantes, and I try my best to answer like some of the questions about the stereotypes about French people, but I might not be a perfect sample, but I try to give my honest opinion.
Okay, let's get started. I have the first funny questions. Are French people arrogant or rude?
I would say yes, but I mean, I think we have like a high opinion of ourselves. Maybe that's due to pride, I don't know, but yeah, I think on average we might be a bit arrogant, but I mean, it always comes down to the people, but I think on average we might be.
Okay, I thought it's more like only the Parisians who are like more arrogant.
These guys are worse, yeah, that's for sure.
Et à Auxerre, c'est 4.
On se connaît?
Ah, madame est parisienne.
When it comes down, maybe most of them.
Uh-huh.
Okay, is it because the country is beautiful, they take the pride for it, or what do you think?
I don't really know. I don't really know where that comes from, to be honest, but maybe all the way down to the ages of like the biggest kings and empires. Maybe I cannot raise a simple answer for this, but you know, say stuff.
Okay, let's change the mood. Are French people romantic?
I'd like to say yes. Maybe that's due to the language, but I mean, who am I? Who am I to say yes though? But I'd like to say that's true, but who knows?
Because French language has been voted over and over that it's the most romantic language.
Maybe it sounds cool. I don't know, since like I've been speaking it my whole life. I cannot tell if it's like if it sounds better than others. But I think for us French people, we may think of the Italian language as the romantic one, but I mean, who knows?
Okay. Because people take like Paris is the city of love,
yeah.
France is the country of love.
But I think that's mostly due to maybe the Chanel and Gucci advertisements. Maybe I think they've built maybe this image of like the city of love and stuff. The movies as well, maybe.
Okay. But also I have something contradictory. Many people are saying French people cheat on their partners.
Oh, I mean, I don't know if we cheat more than the other countries, but I think of course that's something that happens a lot. Like, but to me, it's like in every country. I don't know if it's like special in France, but yeah, it happens. That's real for sure.
Okay, but is it like the people are more open about it? Like let's say they cheat and then they'll leave their partner.
Oh, I don't think so. I feel like it's kind of lost most of the time, and I don't know if that makes a big of a difference between other countries. Maybe like for the more religious countries, maybe they are like a bit more disciplined and they cheat less. But I think it's in France it's not like we don't cheat that much in particular. I think.
Okay, but cheating is still
Yeah,
personally.
it's a reality. Yeah, it happens,
Yeah.
and we don't tell a lot about it.
Now coming to the smoking.
Oh.
Do every French person smoke?
Actually, like as for me, I don't smoke, but I know a lot of people that do. For example, both my parents smoke. I know a lot of people that smoke as well, and I think that's something that's been trendy as well. We can see in some ads, for example, and stuff. So maybe it's helped like bending it. But you gotta know that in France, cigarettes are like heavily taxed, but people keep on buying them. So it's quite trendy in France.
But like I see many people in the trams, they use the rolling cigarettes where they put the tobacco and then they roll it. Is that like the fancier cigarette?
No. Actually, that's the way that you use when you usually don't have. It's a bit more expensive to buy like pre-rolled ones. So I feel like when you roll them yourselves, I think it's because you're maybe a bit less well off. I think maybe that's the reason.
You're saving money.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. we are having the discussion in English, but my next question is, do French people speak in English?
Actually, like, I think for the younger generations, we've been learning English a bit more at school, but like, not that we take English classes seriously, like, to be honest. I remember a lot of my friends were like sleeping in classes and stuff, but for the older generations, English speaking is like quite bad, to be honest. Like, for example, both my parents, they are like terrible. I wouldn't even talk about my grandparents, like they don't know a single word of English. But I think for the younger generations, like, we're trying, you know. I think on average we are like worse than European countries about learning English. Maybe that's because of pride, but I don't know. And but yeah, we're not very good at English, to be honest, even on the younger generations.
Okay, and is it like even though you know English, they are not willing to speak it?
I don't yeah, I feel like, yeah, that might be due to pride as well. It's like, yeah, we are kind of proud of our language, and we're like, nah, you're in France, you gotta speak it, you know. But, you know.
I understand.
But I feel like that's mostly because of like French people, like, that are poor English speakers, are not willing to make that effort to speaking English, and like making them look bad and like speaking broken English, for example. That might be another reason.
Okay. Now it's summer, everywhere there is sun. Do French people take a lot of vacations, like, compared to other countries?
Oh, actually, I don't know much about like the vacations in other countries. What I can tell you is, like, for students, we have approximately 1 week of vacations every like 6 or 7 weeks, and during the summer we have like an extra. We usually have like 8 months of holidays, and so yeah, usually like I think people take vacations at these times, and they use it as an opportunity. Maybe like I think we mostly travel around France for holidays. I think that's quite different to other countries. Like, since we have like so many touristic places in France, French people go inside of France for vacation. They don't. I think on average they don't go outside of France that much.
Okay, that's interesting. But does this make them lazy? Because some people are saying French people are lazy.
I think we're quite lazy. I think that one thing that you can see a lot is that we are not extremely motivated at work, I think, on average, and maybe that's laziness. Yeah, I think that's mostly due to a lack of motivation. But I think there are lazy countries, to be honest.
Maybe. But does the laziness make the strikes, the demonstration?
Oh.
Like, it always happens.
Yeah, actually we have that habit of like complaining all the time about like everything the government does, and so yeah, that might be one of the reasons. Like, but I don't really know. I don't know if it's only laziness, to be honest.
Okay. The next thing is every French person into fashion? Like, they always dress like fashion models?
Actually, for me, like, absolutely not into it. Yeah, I know some people, you know, that are very into this, but like for me, like, I don't care much, to be honest. Like, when you wander around the streets, like, you can see quite some people that are, like, seems to put a lot of effort, that are like dedicated to fashion, but for me, I don't care that much. And since I come from an engineering school, we don't care that much in here, to be honest.
Nobody really minds about it.
Yeah.
Is it? I think this comes to like these luxurious clothing brands made in France.
Yeah, actually, yeah, we have a very solid like luxury. I don't know, but yeah, and so yeah, maybe that plays quite a role. I think that when you're something that happens a lot is like rich people like kind of want to show off like with the clothes they buy, for example. So that might stimulate that market a bit and like promote like people that are into fashion.
Okay. And another funny one. You are not skinny, but most people think French people are skinny.
Oh, I don't know. I don't really know. I don't think like there's a national trend about like body types. You can see pretty much a bit of everything. I think in United stuff raising an answer. I know, for example, that like Dutch people are like taller on average than us, for example. But apart from this, I don't think you can raise like a typical French body type. I don't think it's a thing.
And is it like they are more sportive? Because I find many people jogging around the streets.
Maybe we are. I don't know. Yeah, I know a lot of my friends that had like extra school activity, sport activities, for example. I think it's quite trendy. I know maybe some countries that are like more into music, for example, and I think in France it's more sports, like as for the activities that you do like, outside of school. So maybe on average we are a bit sports too.
Okay, let's come to the food category.
Oh, that's interesting.
Do every French person have 3-course meal? Like for lunch you have starters, main meal.
I mean, we try to like that's the ideal thing. Like having starters, like main dish and desserts. Like you know your meal has been done properly when you do it like this. And I think it's quite a tradition. You know, when you go into like restaurants and stuff, like most of the time they start and like ask you if you're having starters. You know, and like there's a lot of process having like aperitifs, like then starters, then like several course meals, and then like dessert, or even cheese before dessert as well. So I think it's part of a tradition, and if you want to make it proper, and like let's say you invite people, you gotta do it. You gotta have like those 3 courses.
Okay, you touched on cheese, and that was my next thing.
Ah, nice.
Do French people eat cheese with everything?
Yes.
Breakfast?
Yes. Not breakfast though, but like one thing that I've noticed in France, like I think in a lot of countries they eat like salty stuff for breakfast. I don't see that much. I don't see this that much in France. Like at least for my friends and people I know of, it's like we like I don't know like cereals in a bowl. Like you know we don't eat like I don't know scrambled eggs, sausages. Like we don't have this. Well, it's mostly croissant, you know,
Yeah.
or chocolat as well. And no, we don't eat that much salty stuff for breakfast. So cheese is not an example. But yes, we do eat cheese all the time.
For
It's very
lunch,
nice.
dinner, everything. And now you're having wine. Do French people have wine every time?
Every time, I think like for example in my family, like I think my grandpa was like having let's say 1 or 2 glasses of wine for lunch, then like an extra 2 or 3 glasses for dinner, for example. And I think it's very nice. I like that culture about like I don't know having your wine to match like what kind of food you're eating and stuff. I think it can really like raise up the level of your meal when you have wine as well. So yeah, I think it's a big thing in France.
Do French people eat snails?
Oh, actually that's a very strong cliche. It's very rare in France. Like I remember eating snails once, but like it was a lot different than what you could picture. It's like I had a bit of like cooked snail inside of a pastry. So like in the end, you're kind of eating only the pastry, and like I think it even had cheese. So it's like you don't eat that much of snail when you eat that dish. So it's quite fine actually. It turned out very okay. I was like eating it, and I was like, yeah, it's very fine. So, but it's a very big cliche. Like you don't have snails that much in France.
I've never tried and I've never seen
You
it.
should. It's very nice.
Okay. And the last one on food, do they eat frogs?
Oh, this one's like the biggest lie ever. Like I don't know anyone that's ever eaten frogs. Like I think it's rare as fuck. Like maybe people like just noticed it and like stuck to it, but it's extremely rare. I've never ever seen anyone eating them. I've never ever saw them in shops, for example. So I think it's extremely rare, and this one's definitely a cliche.
Okay, now we're done with the food.
Ah.
Another funny thing. Do French people say ooh la la every
Oh.
time?
Oh là. Oh là là. Oh là là là. Plus il y a de là, plus c'est grave. Très français. Oh là 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 là.
Yeah, it has to be true. Yeah, we do.
Like, what is the meaning? When do they say it?
Oh,
Is it like surprised or?
yeah, actually, no, it can be everything. It's like maybe you'll get surprised, you go like, oh la la. Maybe you can be like enthusiastic, you say, oh la la. You can be depressed, angry, you can go everywhere pretty much. Like, I'm sorry for swearing, but like, just like in English when you say fuck, you can have it pretty much everywhere. It's very versatile.
It's fine. Another funny one. Do French people pee anywhere? Is it like allowed to pee anywhere?
Is that a cliche that would be anywhere?
Some people ask because like in my country it's not. It's weird to find people maybe peeing along the road.
No, it's
somewhere
forbidden.
written.
No, it's forbidden, but like I think you see maybe some people do it, like when let's say you're like drunk at 3 a.m. in the city, like okay, you know. But on average, you don't see that much. I think it's quite cliche.
Okay. Now the remaining questions, because it's like we have a lot of them. I'm gonna just ask you if you have something to add on it, you can add. If you just have like a yes or no, you can tell us. Are all French people chefs, or do they always want to be chefs?
It's a tough question. Actually, like for at least for my parents, I think they know how to cook properly, and like they can put quite some effort into it. But I think for the younger people, like we don't care that much. Like we do cook, that's for sure. But like I think for students that we don't cook that much. Like you pretty much eat just pasta and just put a bit of ketchup or pesto on it, and then you're fine. Yeah, but no, yeah, it's quite a big thing. Let's say you receive people and you say like, oh, I've made these myself. You know, it's very well seen. So I think we have that culture.
Okay. And do French people eat spicy food, or is like?
It's not very traditional. You don't have like spicy stuff in your meals usually, apart from mustard and pepper. But apart from this, we don't have much of them. But we do eat them. That's not a problem. It's not like we reject, like they say, Mexican food or very spicy Thai food, for example, or even Indian. Indian is the worst.
And Ethiopian.
Oh yeah, you don't mess with Ethiopians.
Okay. Are French stereotypes overrated? Like many people have many stereotypes.
Among the stereotypes that I quite choose, like we do wear like this kind of stuff. I think it's quite trendy as well. Like, to be honest, I put this like for your opportunity a little bit. That this one's not a stereotype. The stereotype about the baguettes, this one's definitely not one. Like we do eat baguettes all the time. Like let's say like this morning even I saw a line like in front of the bakery, like people buying baguettes in the morning. So this one's definitely not a stereotype. One thing that's a stereotype is the frogs. Like this you can forget it. It doesn't mean shit.
Okay.
And fashion victims, yeah, I think it's a bit of a stereotype. Like maybe it's a kind of a trend, but it's not that big of a deal. Cheese is true. Wine is true as well. Yeah, I think that's it. You could picture French people like this, I think.
Okay, at least we've gotten to know the sneak peek, like how the French people are. It's really true. And we really appreciate you for being there to answer these questions for us. Okay, thank you.